Okay, forgive the extra noise. I need the windows open because it's a little warm in here, but I have been trying to make a video for like, I don't know, how long has it been since the last video? I've recorded like 3 or 4 different things and none of them felt right. They didn't make it through, you know? And that's fine. That is what it is. It's just, this is this is the one. And it's because I'm not telling anything. I'm just sharing an experience that I just had. And I've been making this video in my head. I've been expressing this like all afternoon, and so bear with me because now I'm finally here. And I realized something, and it's gonna sound weird, maybe, or just dumb, or obvious, like, yeah, of course. You're just getting to this? Like, you're just realizing this? Yes. But it was such a relief. It was so relieving to realize. I've been feeling so torn for a while, a long time now, honestly. And like I've been pulled back and forth, you know, between the space of like nothingness and the space of everythingness. And the nothingness is like peaceful. It's very peaceful, but it's boring. And then the everythingness, it's overwhelming. It's exciting for a little while, and then it's just exhausting, and I can't sustain it. So then I go back into the nothingness, and I'm like, neither one of these is really it, you know? And I feel frustrated, and this is the way that I've felt with so much, I don't know, whatever spiritual stuff, is like, I'm super with it up to a point, and then there's one thing that I'm like, no, that doesn't vibe. And I know that's, like, this is how it works, is to take the stuff that vibes and ditch the stuff that doesn't, but I've never felt like I really belonged anywhere, you know? All these communities, all of the people talking about all the things and the philosophies and the approaches and the understandings, and I know, you know, everybody gets to have their own approach, and a lot of it is a cultural thing too, but I never felt like I fit. I was so honestly put off, like, by a lot of the people. I would be super into a lot of this thing, this modality, this teaching, and then like meet the people and be like, there's nothing wrong with you. I'm just like, these are not my people. This is not like, oh, is this, maybe this isn't what I thought it was. And you know, like you came to the wrong neighborhood kind of feeling of like, oh, this is not actually for me. This is not where I belong. And I've felt that way so much, and it's been building and building and building, and I felt it a lot recently, and you know, I feel just more and more like repelled by teaching in general, I guess. There are very few places that I feel even a little bit of camaraderie, a true like resonance, like a true understanding of one another. And wow. Oh yeah, I'm sure that's being picked up. Sorry, I can feel the vibrations from that bass. But here, you know, this is like one of those spaces. Like I genuinely like you people, the people who comment, who are here. You're funny. You're you know, on the same page of like, I don't know, genuineness, but also playful irreverence, like wanting to just explore and have fun. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is I was all fucked up today. And I've been feeling a lot of physical things that, you know, could be, again, like could be explained by whatever, I don't know, illness if I go to a doctor or something, but also they overlap with all of the blah 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 ascension symptoms. I really like don't even want to go into that, but just like feeling almost high, essentially. Like, I used to smoke a lot of weed, and that's the only drug I've ever done other than alcohol. I guess this sort of could apply to alcohol also, in terms of if you're very aware, but especially with weed, I think for most people, and it has this reputation, you're like not so far gone that you're not aware of what's happening. And if you're unfamiliar with the sensations that it generates, you're probably going to freak out. Like, it's likely that you will, at least initially, and then even for experienced whatever people, it could still happen, that you green out. You notice that your hands don't feel like your hands, and your tongue feels too big in your mouth, and you're not sure if you can move your legs, and like just the spacey feeling in your head, and like, you know, colors look kind of different, all of this stuff. It's different. It's a different perception than what you're familiar with, and because of that and your awareness of the difference, it creates anxiety. And I've been feeling that on and off for a number of months. It really only kind of clicked the other day that it feels so much like having been high. It's been quite a long time since I had that experience, but it's a similar sensation in the head. This kind of headiness and like like floaty, spacey feeling, and I can feel like my body is vibrating from the inside. It's not exactly a caffeine type of vibration, it's just vibration, and it's caused quite a lot of anxiety. And interestingly, my wife is now experiencing a lot of the same things. We didn't realize how similar our experiences were until last night. She's been described, because we describe things in different ways, right? So she talks about feeling tired yet wired, and feeling like her eyes are moving on their own or something like that, as well as a sort of brain fog. And then, you know, I describe things the way I just described them, but I hadn't gone into a lot of detail. And finally we were last night really realizing, like, this actually does sound like the same thing. Like, what you're experiencing sounds very similar. She is perimenopause. It's entirely possible that I could also be experiencing an early perimenopause, or even just an empathetic, you know, connection, like, of her symptoms. I don't think that's the case. Maybe there's an overlap. I do feel that there's an energetic thing happening here. It's because it's almost like when the atmospheric pressure changes, you know? Like, the air feels different. Things just feel different. My vision seems different. It's just this unfamiliarity with the way things feel. And that's how she described it also. So I really do think this is an energetic thing. And today I was trying not to panic over the way that I felt. And I also got this wave of resentment. Okay, there's this like resentment and rage, and I had just briefly like looked up, you know, okay, what were the ascension symptoms again, awakening symptoms, whatever you want to call it, spirit flu, I guess it's been called, all of this shit. Like, okay, it's basically everything. Like, it's all of these things, and it's a bunch of other things. But a lot of people too, like, okay, so here's a bunch of things that I don't experience, a lot of them being like the desire to eat better. And to be fair, my diet is like, I'm doing the intuitive eating, where it's like I eat what is available, and I eat what sounds good to me. And I don't enjoy, this started a long time back, I don't enjoy processed foods. Like, those don't feel good to my body anymore. They don't really taste that good. Like, I really do crave just real food, but it's all kinds of real food, and it's sweet, and it's rich, and it's savory, and like, yeah, a lot of vegetables, because I fucking love vegetables, but it's just everything, and I drink coffee in the morning, whatever. Anyways, there's the whole like super mega, I don't know, like you become spiritual and then you're vegan, and like that's just it. There's that track, and there's the track of you become spiritual and you start exercising, and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know, there was so much resentment and rage and all this shit. And for a long time I've been going like, something is wrong with me. This is for me to unpack. There's like a blockage, whatever, that I have. There's something in me that wants to hate all of this, and it's keeping me stuck, and it's keeping me from blah blah blah. I've been caught in this twist between like something in me that feels like I'm supposed to be a part of these communities, and then the thing in me that's like, I fucking hate the language that they use in these communities. And I really don't. I don't want to be a part of them. And then the other thing that's like, well, but there's nowhere else. You're either with the high vibe tribe or you're out, that kind of thing. You're either ascending or you're not. Like, it's like, this is what it looks like. This is what ascension looks like. And if you think otherwise, you're fooling yourself, kind of thing. And so that's been a sticking point for me for a long time now, and something that really infuriated me. And I was making the fury over that something that was, a flaw, that was something wrong with me that like ultimately I had to get over, or something like that. And I'm sitting feeling all of this today and hearing this tug of war in my mind and feeling so overwhelmed and just like I'm going to explode. Like, there's too much noise. There is too much. This argument is too much. I can't contain this in me anymore. And I had the thought, and I was journaling and writing, and I wrote down, I feel like there is a battle, two sides. There are two forces in war fighting for control of me. And I am really not interested in either of them. And then there was a pause. After that thought appeared, there was a pause. When I realized I'm really not interested in either of them. It was like there was a sudden silence. Like the fighting stopped. And I recognized this isn't about me. This doesn't belong to me. I'm not involved in this war. And it's not happening to me. I mean, maybe it's, I'm picking it up, so it's within me, that kind of thing. But this isn't me. This war, these voices, right? This isn't me. And I don't have to be involved in this. And suddenly, things went really quiet. Not 100%, but it was like the volume on all of that just turned way down, just dropped down to the single digits. And the rage left. It was just gone. And I was in this emptiness. And I felt sad. There was a sort of a relief, but it was also sadness there. And I kept writing, and it felt like, the war isn't mine. And I know that. But I don't feel like the nothingness is mine either. I don't want to have to choose between just war or nothingness. Like everything, this clamoring of everything, or nothing. And I felt sad, and I felt outside, sort of looking in. And I wrote, there has to be something else, right? There must be something else. There can't be just this. There can't just be war or silence, like, cacophony or silence, everything or nothing. And I was in that sadness. And then I don't even really know how it transitioned to this, but it was suddenly that I realized, or I felt, of course, if there's a desire, I'm asking for something. I'm in this place. This is an opening. I'm in this place of seeing not this and not this. So what? What else? What is the third thing? Because I know I'm standing here asking for the third thing. There must be a third thing. And I was feeling into that. This space that is, it's not nothing and it's not everything, right? It's not total detachment and disimpassion, but it's not just a fervor, a frothing fervor either. It's not drama, and it's not just total void. It's in between. It's play and curiosity and interest. It's following interest. And there's excitement and there's some passion there, but it doesn't get to this, crazy point. There's interest but not obsession, right? And there's calm and ease, but it's not so still that it's stagnant. It's not silence. It's just soft. And it has a range. It can get louder. It just never gets so loud that it's painful, like ear splitting. It's just this space that is like, it's play and it's ease and it's fun and it's exploration and it's creativity, and there's no pressure there. And then I think it was from there, this is what suddenly occurred to me that, again, sounds so obvious and maybe kind of weird and maybe kind of dumb, but I suddenly felt like I'm not creating the same world as other people. I'm not calling in the same, because what I'm looking for here is a new way of being, a new world to be in, that kind of go together. A new way of being in a new world, a new environment that is that way. And I'm not calling in the same world that other people are calling in. Other people, all these people, this community that I've never really felt like I was a part of. The light workers and the star seeds, and I've tried on all of these labels and these names, and I don't have anything to say about them. I'm realizing more and more, all of that is fine. Of course, it's fine. And it gets to influence, that gets to be a part of the world that's being created. But if it doesn't fit for me, it doesn't fit for me, because it's not a part of my world. And I was recognizing that the home, this is what I was calling, is this feeling of home, right? But total belonging, totally, completely just right. This is where I'm meant to be. This is where I belong. This sense of just rightness, of perfectly enough, perfectly, exactly for me, fits me like a glove, right? Home is what that boiled down to. And I've heard so many people saying, this is what we're doing. We're calling home here. We're bringing back the organic blueprint of, God's divine matrix or whatever, and or just 5D Earth, new Earth, ascended, multidimensional, galactic connection, whatever, angels, dragons, star seeds. Again, I'm not trying to judge any of that or even say that it's incorrect. I'm just recognizing that's not the world that I'm calling in. I'm really recognizing, again, sounds so dumb, that this isn't the binary thing. Ascension is not ascension or not. That's not what it is. It's not, 5D new earth, or you stay in the lower whatever. It's not a split. It's a branching. It's a branching. And so the home that I'm calling is not the same home for other people. Because yes, I mean, we have the same, deep home, right? The same source, of course. But I don't think that's where we're moving. I mean, it's all connected through that. And it's all, inspired by, and there is this, influence of that. But to me, the influence of that is, love and freedom. The choice to it gets to be what you desire, and that is what life wants, and life wants a diversity of desires, and that's how it expands in this magnificent, never-ending way. And so my desire, what feels like home, what is home for me, is not the same as what is home for other people, and that's why I've never fit in these communities. The home that other people are calling is not my home, and that's okay. Because I'm calling the home that is. And I felt so much relief in recognizing that, in seeing finally that I had been trying to make myself fit somewhere that I just didn't fit. And I haven't been so excited in a long time to realize that I didn't belong somewhere. So excited to recognize that I did not belong there. Because now I get to recognize where I do belong, and I can feel it, and I could feel it in that moment. There was like a bubbling, and I didn't feel alone, even though I was saying I don't belong with all of this. This is all I know now. What home is not for me, and all of this stuff that other people are interested in and feels good to them, feels home for them, isn't mine. But in my recognition of not belonging there, I didn't feel alone. I felt more connected. I felt supported. Recognizing that my home, what I'm calling, what fits my desire, what is home for me, is very real and very alive and very full. There is life there. There are others there. There are others who call that same place home. And I don't know how many it is, and it really doesn't matter. Maybe it's, the same number, maybe it's smaller. It's really not relevant. And, maybe then it's true too that there are more homes than I had realized. It felt to me okay, this is going to be a very privileged analogy, but I'm going to try to wrap this up because I'm almost to the house. Privileged analogy, it felt to me like I came from California, going to high school there. Everybody pretty much expected you to want to go to either UCLA for college or USC. Those are the big schools. They're at war with each other, right? And so that was the kind of pressure that I felt. It's so you have this binary option, right? You want to go here, you want to go there. And it seemed like everybody wanted to go to one place or the other. But then, recognizing I don't really want to go to either of these places, and coming to terms with that, and having my own discovery of there are other schools and there are other places to go, and these are more interesting to me, and this is what feels good to me, where I belong. And for a period it seemed like maybe it's just me and 2 or 3 other people that want to go to schools that are not UCLA and USC. But then, gradually you find out there are more. Still the majority want to, go to these 2 places, but there is a good group of other people that are interested in some place in another state, or, a community college, or whatever. They're not doing that same thing. But there was, there was only one other person who went to the school that I went to. So that's kind of what it feels like, is there's this branching, and I'm recognizing that people want to go different places, and we have different homes, different versions of home, but the one that we are calling, again, the amazing thing is I don't have a clue, I don't have the slightest clue what it looks like, but I don't need to. I know a hell of a lot about what it doesn't look like, but I don't need to know what it looks like because I know that it's mine. It is perfect for me. That's what makes it home. And it's the same feeling I had thinking about and calling in my perfect energetic match in human form. This is in world form, in way form. It feels the same. What a relief to know that the home that is coming is right for me and is where I belong, and that I no longer have to make myself fit with any other story or idea or checklist outside of me, that I can trust this. That's what I feel now, really deeply. I can trust this. What is mine, and that is fine. And I don't have to fit in the other shit. I love you. Take it easy.